Fuck them.
Good evening, keepers of the cash. Gary B, the casual comic guy here, and joining me, just like most Tuesdays, at some point he'll be back regularly, but we have Steve the Voice White. Steve, how you doing tonight, sir?
Oh man, I'm great. I had to be here tonight for my boy Dope and the horror. I had to be here, man.
And you know, on this channel, we're big fans of horror.
Oh yeah.
But
I'm
of course,
happy to be here.
right? Without further ado, I mean, the man, the myth, the legend, the horror aficionado, Dope Comics. How you doing tonight, sir?
Dude, I am great. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to let some steam off. I ain't working. I'm talking horror. I'm talking comics. I'm hanging out with good buddies. What else could I need?
Right? There you
Snowed
go.
in. Fixing to be an inch here in the south. It's going to be rough.
Right? Might have to get out of the flip-flops and put on some Crocs, huh?
We're going to have to.
Do you even own a shovel? Do you got a shovel down there?
You don't need a shovel. You just need a tablespoon for an inch of snow.
A broom.
Clear
Broom
that
will work.
shit out.
Well, they've already canceled school. They've already canceled work, so I'm ready.
Right?
I'll be making chili. I'm going to hope my power don't go out. It's going to be great.
Right? All right, let's so Dope, before we get going, you've been on the show enough. You know how we do it. Who are you? What's your channel about? Where can people find you? We'll go say hi to the audience after that, and then we'll come back to you for your first horror item.
I am Dope Comics. You can find me on Dope Comics with an X, just like down here, well, right there. I do a lot of horror stuff. I do a lot of indie stuff. I do a lot of pre-code horror stuff. I do a lot of weird stuff. I'm a weird guy, and I thought maybe I could start a weird channel, and maybe if I could find people like me out there. And to my shock, there's a lot of people like the same things I like. So I'm happy that I've got what I've got. So
Nice.
I'm as big as I want to get.
We're all stars now in the
Yeah.
Dope show.
Yeah, yeah. Love metal. I love everything about that stuff. So, but yeah, horror is where it's at. I've been attracted to it since I was a little kid, and I lived in a small town, so we go up to the VHS store, and it's called Video Vision, and you had that one row where you're supposed to be 18 to go down, and not the porn row, it's the horror row.
Right.
And,
I was always in that row too, the horror.
yeah, I'd always sneak back there, and I'd see Driller Killer and, Sleepaway Camp and all this stuff, and I loved all that stuff. So
And it's funny, my parents let me watch whatever I wanted. They couldn't watch some of it. I had no problem. I was 7, 8 watching all the horrors. And we used to have a horror show on every Sunday where they'd show a horror movie in the afternoon. So I was always in front of the TV on Sunday afternoon and watch whatever horror show they were going to show on television.
we had Slumber. Well, I like Slumber Party Massacre and stuff like that. And then we had a Monster Vision on TNT in the 90s.
Perfect. Yes.
Yeah,
That's
Joe
right.
Bob
I remember
Briggs or
that.
whatever his name was.
Yeah.
I loved
Oh,
it.
The Last Drive-In.
Yeah.
He does that now, I think.
Yeah, and I like classic stuff, weird shit. I like stuff like Twilight Zone, Tales from the Dark Side, that kind of stuff.
I love Tales from the Dark Side. Every Friday night it was on for us at midnight. I was always up, and as soon as that little D, I was there. I was hooked. The best opening horror music, that little simple tune, right?
The scariest horror movie I ever heard in my life. It would make me want to cut the lights on. I didn't like Unsolved Mysteries.
Really?
You remember that guy? He'd always be standing there like Robert Stack or whatever his name was. He had on the trench coat, and then that music would start.
That's
and
right.
Yeah.
Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah, I didn't like that as a kid. The first scary thing I ever remember seeing as a kid that freaked me out and made me run in my mom's room was actually a sci-fi movie. I watched V in the 80s. You remember V?
Oh, shit. Yeah, that was a cool show with the lizard people.
I own them on DVD. I love that. And that was before Robert. That's when Robert Englund played friendly parts.
Yeah.
Before when he was Willie and he was like mild and meek and the lovable guy. And then all of a sudden he was Freddy Krueger.
What
I'm
scene
still
got
scarred
you?
by that baby that looked like a regular baby and had the lizard tongue.
Right.
Oh yeah, when
that
she
freaked
gave
me
birth.
out. And ever since I was probably 3 or 4 when I saw that. But I've been
Not when
hooked on.
the chick was like eating the hamster or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah. I've been hooked on horror ever since. So
Yeah.
I had 2 big sisters, and they'd always have sleepovers, and they'd rent horror movies, and I'd see some of it, and I've been hooked. So
Perfect.
Nice.
You're corrupted from an early age. It's excellent.
I grew up in the right time because in the 80s, you know, I got the big, I call them the big four. I like the big four. I like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I like Freddy. I like Jason. And I like Michael Myers. So
well, I think you're probably around the same age as me. I think, I'm not sure, but when we grew up too, that was the video store era, and they were making
Blockbuster,
just straight to video hundreds of horror movies. So there was no shortage of this. You would just find like the coolest horror movies out there. And that was when Full Moon was in full effect, making a bunch of movies. They had some great stuff, but all these little horror, like, you know, that's where I found Evil Dead. That's where I found just all
The Howling,
some Lovecraftian stuff. Just you found so much stuff on the VHS walls and stuff.
that one
I
scared
love
the shit out of me.
Creepshow too. I love
Creepshow,
Sleepaway Camp, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I just, that was the best time to grow up because, like you said, I think horror movies were also cheap to make compared to like sci-fi because you didn't have to have a lot of big explosions or nothing like that.
No.
Right.
What was that scary noise in the woods? Let's go investigate. Let's everybody separate. And then I root for the bad guy. Like, get him, Freddy.
Wear
get
your
him.
high heels. Yeah, it's all that kind of stuff. So,
Except when Steve said that in Canada, it was just a hungry moose.
The attack beaver.
Oh man.
All right, let's say hi to the audience here. First in, as always, Las Cruces. James, it's great to see you as always, sir. It is not a live show unless Las Cruces is there.
Yeah.
All right, then we have Brad Wellbore, our buddy from
brother.
Canada. Good evening, Brad. Great to see you, bud. Hope you didn't have to do too much plowing and shoveling today.
Oh shit, he laughs
We
at
have
us
Steve
with our
saying
snow.
hi. We have Big
Hi.
Nasty Comics. Great to see you.
Big nasty.
Thank you for showing up tonight. We appreciate it. Brian LCS. Good evening, Brian. Brian's Kickstarter is live right now for the Doctor 2. Go check it out. We have One Shot Comics, another great horror dude in our community, Nicholas. If you guys aren't following Nick on Instagram, you need to. Him and I bonded over the Alien franchise and never looked back. Great dude. And you want to talk about a nerd room that you would be jealous of, you should see One Shot's Nerd Room. It's amazing. Go check it out on Instagram. Digger Jim. Jim, how you doing tonight, sir? My other co-host. And we got Mr. DVH, another horror aficionado. Great to see you, DVH. Hope you're having a great time, man. All right. And we have Hall Yeah Comics. Good evening, sir. Great to see you. Thank you for being here. And as we're getting through, a lot of good conversation going on. We have actually Dracula, who was supposed to be on this Thursday but had to reschedule. He will now be on March 13th.
Dracula.
Side Quest Comics. Good evening, sir. Great to see you.
Hey.
Thank you for coming to the show. And Side Quest, I said that. Trilogy of Terror is one of my favorites, Brian. Love Trilogy of Terror. I watched that so many times as a kid, and that movie you can't own for some reason. I got to find the DVD of it. That movie is just caught up in rights. Mr. Mark Andrews, who just had his likeness done incredibly well by Shop for Comics with him as a captain of a starship. That was, in my opinion, one of Shop's very best ever. That looks fantastic. And Mark's well-deserving of it. And Kenneth Berg, good evening, sir. Great to see you.
What's going on, brother?
All right. So we are caught up for the moment. Yes, Trilogy of Terror was with Karen Black. So great. All three stories with her were fantastic. But dope. It's not about them. It's not about us. It's all about
them at all.
It's about horror. Let's see what your first item is.
Oh, well, we're going to go all kinds of different ways. And we usually do the 10-1-1. This is my third time on here. First time we did big books. I think the second time we did things that I love to read. And this time we're doing horror. So we're going to call these two one package. What about that?
There you go. The Travato clause.
I love everything horror. I love to collect anything I can find. If you grew up in the 90s, you had a Nintendo. So you got to have the Nightmare on Elm Street video game.
Yeah, Freddy.
And the Jason video game. These right here are very hard to find complete. If you find them complete, they start about $200 and they go up into thousands, just like comic books. Depends on what the grades is. Jeez. But the hardest thing to find on these is the box. The box is hard and the warranty card's hard. But inside here, the most expensive thing is the box. You got to get a good box. The most cheapest thing in these is the actual cartridge. and the sleeve. But then you get into the manual. The manual is hard to find, and the warranty card is even harder to find. So I like
cards right in the garbage.
Yeah, everybody threw the warranty card away. So in order to have a complete box, you got to have the warranty card. You got to have the little styrofoam tray in the bottom. You got to have everything.
Right. You know what's funny? I didn't throw anything away with my video games. Every little thing that came inside it stayed inside it.
Wow.
You're a rarity, because most people, especially like the warranty card, they threw all that away. I didn't keep my manual. I try to keep my box, but my boxes got to looking real ratty over time. So to find them in really good shape is really hard to do. But I love to find this kind of stuff. I love to hunt, and this is really the only two Nintendo games that's cool. There is an Atari version of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it can go up till the highest one I've seen is 85,000.
Damn.
So most are from, if you get a 6.5 to an 8 grade, they're anywhere. You could probably get it for, I don't know, maybe a couple grand. But if you get the really, really nice, and some people are wanting ridiculous money for them. So,
well, especially now, because grading video games is big now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to grade one, to have an Atari game of Texas Chainsaw Massacre and the box mint, I mean, where are you going to find that from the 80s? You know, that's
right.
45 years ago. Yeah. So,
in a landfill.
Yeah.
You're going to have to do some, bring your shovel.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, this is kind of stuff you ought to be able to find at yard sales and stuff. People's got Nintendo games, and
I have no idea what they have.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Kids throwing this shit away. Yeah.
Well, I'll give you $2 for it. Okay.
Yeah.
A cup of coffee.
I love that stuff. There's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre PlayStation game too, but it's a little too new for me because I did play PlayStation, but I was mainly a Nintendo guy.
I remember playing the Evil Dead games on the PlayStation 2 as well. Those were fun. Yeah. Oh, and the Buffy the Vampire Slayer game was fun on PlayStation 2.
Yeah, I remember all that. Just anything like that. I like the Road Rash. Road Rash was the first game I remember that had a soundtrack. Yep. Are we going next?
Yeah, let's go next. But that was great. That was already a great surprise, man. I didn't even know those existed.
Yeah, I'm going to try to show you a bunch of weird stuff. This is considered one too. So even though there's 4 things here, but I just told you the big 4. So the big 4 to me, this is their first appearances. If you wanted the first appearance of Jason, this came out the same week as the Satan 6, which is Tops also. They came out the same week and the same time and everything. So, but this is a much better cover. It's a glow in the dark cover. This is Jason Goes to Hell, number 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had the first Leatherface, which was this one right here.
Now, did that come polybagged like a lot of their stuff?
Yeah, it's still
polybagged. There's cards in them too with those tops.
Yeah.
Usually got 2 cards.
This is the first Leatherface. If you're looking for the first Leatherface,
who did that awesome cover? That's amazing.
I have no idea. Says Dorman.
Oh, okay, Dave Dorman.
Yeah.
Oh, right there.
He's great.
And then if you want the first Michael Myers, it's this one. These are about $100 if you can find them. But
that's funny. Book. Those tops books. Nobody gives a crap about them. They're in like dollar bins.
Yeah, it's the cheapest one of the bunch, but it's still probably, I don't know, $20 if you buy it off of eBay. But you know, and then the most expensive one is the Nightmare on Elm Street magazine.
Oh, yeah.
So
another great painted cover.
Yeah, really cool cover.
Get her, Freddie.
There's only 2 issues of this, and I have both of them, but they're magazine size, but they're still considered first time in comics. So
that's correct, K-pop.
You should be wearing your glove when you hold that one up.
We will be seeing the glove before long. So
okay.
No spoilers.
You got DVH saying he loves that Elm Street. Chuck Hensley says lovely cover.
Yeah. Let me see here. So yeah,
and those are actually really hard to find. And when he just exited by accident.
Hi everybody.
We were gonna wait for Dope to come back, but those tops ones are hard to find. Those just the horror ones.
Yeah,
the other ones, like you said, Steve, are rampant. Like you can find for a long time, you can find them all in the dollar bin.
And I've got a bunch of them, and that's where I've got them. I got them from $2 auctions, and they were still in the poly bag. There he is. He's back.
Drop me off. What happened there?
He just got possessed for a moment, guys. It's okay.
We're showing too much crazy
Freddie got
stuff.
him. Freddie got him, man. He got him.
We're showing too much crazy stuff already. So next,
exactly, Katie. And guys, Katie's horror show is coming up March 6th.
Well,
Katie, this is for you. She's an artist, so let's show some art. Vincent Locke, I don't know if y'all have ever heard of him, but he's my favorite horror artist. He also did like all the Cannibal Corpse covers, if y'all listen to metal. He did Dead World series. You ever read Dead World?
No.
I did not. I know what it is, though.
But we've got a lot of original art by Vincent Locke.
Oh, wow.
Sweet. That is nice.
This here is published artwork. He's turned his own guts out, as you can see there.
Got the entrails going. Yep.
And at
I
the
love
top
the black and white, too.
Yeah, and at the top it says page 4. So this is actual. Well, let me show you this. So if you went to Hot Topic back in the day, they had this bag, and you could buy the Cannibal Corpse CD, and it came with a concert. Yeah, and it came with a comic book, and inside the comic book
is that artwork.
Yeah. So this
is it in color?
It came with a CD, and it came with a patch.
That's cool.
And it's hard to find the bag for that, but inside here, let's see if we can find it.
Page 4. Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
I like it, and I like that version of it's pretty cool too. Yeah, it looks like it might sting a little bit. He's got that face like, yeah, this may sting. That is cool.
You know what that reminds me of is the zombie movie that had Bill Murray in it when he's like, oh, still a little tender.
Oh yeah, that was Zombieland.
Zombieland, yeah.
That was
hilarious. Another Vincent Locke.
Oh man.
Wow, that's incredible.
That. 3 bullet holes in that bastard, and he's still standing.
Yeah, that's 2010. He did this one. So
it's got a little bit of Wrightson flavor to it.
Yeah.
Bernie Wrightson. That's what I was thinking of too.
And I don't know if you can see it, but let's see here. That up there, that's Vincent Locke too. I've got a lot of his artwork.
That's fantastic.
He's a weird dude. He only stays up. He stays up all night drawing, sleeps all day, kind of like normal people on here, I guess. But he takes just does artwork from 12 to 6 every night, and then he sleeps all day. So
that's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Not a bad go.
Original art's getting expensive though.
Yeah. He don't really do a lot anymore. He's been around since the 80s doing stuff like Dead World, and I love all this stuff, but it's all very, very morbid stuff. So it ain't for everyone. So
I wish I had bought that stuff in the 80s because it was cheap back then.
Yeah. I totally agree. So what about, let's see here. Here's something for you, Steve. What about, we got Tales from the Crypt here.
Oh, nice.
This ain't what I want to show you, but it goes with what I'm going to show you. This here is a Tales from the Crypt number 24.
Sweet.
And this right here.
This is the dude right there. There he is. An old swamp zombie.
Yeah, the swamp zombie. And these were made about 5 years ago, and they're a limited edition, and I had to get one because it goes with the book. So
absolutely.
That's look at the detail on it. It's amazing.
I like the mini comic label that goes with it too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I kept that on there.
Damn, Steve. Even Daddy's got more hair than you.
Yes, he does. More than you too, Gary.
Well, that's because I didn't. That's because I just shaved it all off again.
Yeah. That is gruesome.
Deviation, and that is tremendous. Yeah, the mask
looks
great.
Wet. It has that wet look to it, eh?
Yeah, that's cool stuff. But
this isn't what I want to show you.
I love all the old Tales from the Crypt, and this year I'm going to finish this run. There's 26 of them.
Yep.
So I own about half of them right now, and I should finish it by the end of the year. So
they're hard to find, but people love their EC and they hang on to it. That's why you never see them come up, because people love them. They cherish those damn books.
Yeah, and I like them ratty. I like them beat up.
Me too, man.
I like them looking like they've been chewed on by a rat, and
gives them some character.
Yeah, I mean, they look like a horror book. They look like you found them in a witch's basement or something.
Yeah, they're rolled up and put in the back pocket.
Yeah. So that's cool. That's my mask.
I still got to see, because I'm a big werewolf guy. I got to see that new Wolfman movie.
Yeah. I got a Wolfman back there. You want to talk about Wolfmans? Let's do Wolfman. This is a Wolfman.
That's the classic one.
Yeah. Yeah, I like all the original stuff. And this is not what I was going to show you, but this goes with the Wolfman. Anyway, I'll show you something else, Wolfman, that I think is cool. So this is a Wolfman.
He's got that 1970s G.I. Joe hair on them.
Yeah.
That fuzzy, the fuzzy hair.
If you collect comic books and you don't like pre-code horror because it's too expensive, what you can collect is really cool from the 60s and stuff. I love these Wolfman books.
Oh, the big
Famous monsters of
Oh,
Finland.
yeah.
Some of those are awesome.
I was talking about this being my favorite one of the famous monsters from Finland, and somebody told me that I needed to see House of Hammers. So I went out and got House of Hammers, and that's House of Hammers. It's cool too.
Oh, that's pretty wild.
Yeah. So
Wow.
But you can pick these up a lot of times. Sometimes on eBay, they're $50 or $60, but sometimes people don't know what they have, and they'll give you, a lot for $15, and you get 4 or 5 of them. So
exactly.
But that's also like the Nashi werewolf.
Yeah. Yeah.
And those are crazy movies. The Nashi ones.
I haven't seen it in the Nashi ones.
There's a bunch on Prime. They get nuts.
Yeah, I got a bunch of those famous monsters books too, and yeah, I got them like dirt cheap, and they're really high grade. The Battlestar Galactica ones with all the creatures that were in that show.
Well, when I was 10, I loved Monster Squad, and the most scariest part of the movie to me is when he turned into the werewolf.
Yeah,
right before he got blew up.
Dude, I love that movie, but sorry, I was just subbing up Big Nasty and Side Quest. This is the first I've seen them. I was so disappointed that the creature from the Black Lagoon was just a blip in that movie.
That little fat boy just shot him.
The creature and then blip.
Creature is my favorite of all the Universal monsters, and for that little fat boy to shoot him with a shotgun one time, and that's all it took. You know what I mean? I kept waiting on him to get back up, and he just didn't get up.
And dude, the clarity of the underwater photography of that movie for the time is so amazing.
Yeah, I love that movie. That came out in 87 when I was 10 years old, and Lost Boys came out in 87. So that was the 2 movies I just watched over and over and over again.
Oh yeah, Lost Boys. Yeah, that was another good one.
Oh, and he's talking about Hammer too. The Hammer House of Horror anthology series on Prime. It's the old 1972 series. It's like 16 episodes. I watched that earlier in the year. That was fun.
Yeah, cool. I like all the weird stuff. I like weird stuff, but it's so hard to say you like all horror. It's like saying you like metal music. There's a difference between Cannibal Corpse and Bon Jovi. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's the same thing with
horror is so many levels. You can't.
Yeah. There's different kinds of horror. Everybody likes something different. I like more of the slasher stuff that I grew up with, and I like Universal monsters. But there's other stuff like torture horror and shit like that I don't get into, and some of that kind of stuff. So
the torture horror doesn't do much. I'm more of the supernatural creatures.
Yeah, the scariest stuff to me is stuff that could really happen. More of your Poltergeist and maybe Exorcist and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, Poltergeist.
It's so funny you said Poltergeist. I'm always quoting Caroline. Don't look at the light.
Don't go into the light.
Yeah, that stuff to me, Amityville Horror, that stuff's more scary to me than.
Oh, and the Amityville Horror, when that came out, that scared the living shit out of me too. That damn pig in the window. Holy Christ, man. I had nightmares. Another one too, Annabelle.
Yeah.
Tina's posting the mods for Big Nasty and Side Quest Comics. So go sub them up, everyone who's watching. Go. Thank you very much, Tina. The best blue wrench in the business.
Yeah,
Slacker Mark Andrews.
All hail.
I mean, no, just but no, that's the thing. That's also dope. Like you nailed it. But that's what's the best thing about horror. Horror is like comics. There's literally something for every taste.
Yep, there is.
There's some very specific, very niche horror.
Yeah.
Like earlier in the year, like there's a lot of great foreign horror. Like there's Argentina has been putting out great horror movies the last couple of years. There are some great Argentinian horror films out.
Have you ever seen Creepshow?
When Where Evil Lurks was amazing. There was another one called Legions, which was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen Creepshow 2?
Oh, I love Creepshow 2.
The Raft, the second story?
Yeah.
Oh, yep.
It's so basic, but it's such a good story. I mean, it's like a car cover floating in the water. But to me, the monster,
that was scary as hell, man.
Well, it's awesome because it had everything you want. It's about 30 minutes long, kept your attention. It had weed, titties, monsters. It had everything you wanted as a kid.
Right? Yeah, in 15 minutes.
Yeah, and it, it was scary to me. I'm like,
Yeah,
'cause
30
I'm
minutes,
always out. I live right on the river anyway, so that kind of stuff like So I really
Oh,
love
and
like
when it got the one girl's face through the raft, you're
Oh,
like,
through
oh
the
my
raft.
God.
I know, and her face is all coming off. I know, that was awesome. Would have just
That's the
thrown
stuff
Buddy in
I'm
the water and
into,
then swim the other
weird
way.
stuff. Yeah.
But you know what I always remember from the second one though? Thanks for the
What?
ride, lady. Thanks for the ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how they got Buddy in the end though in the raft. He gets to the shore and he's like, "Yeah, I got away from you, bastard." Nope.
Yeah.
He got
love
got.
that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, did I just get a nasty message from Mark Andrews? Time will
Probably.
tell.
I sent you a message.
Oh man, we ready for another one?
We are. I mean, we're getting sidetracked by horror, so I'm not upset.
There's even comedy horror too, right? Like Mad.
Well, if we're talking about weird movies and weird stuff,
Ooh.
my favorite movie I think I ever watched besides Toxic Avenger is probably
That was
Sleepaway
messed
Camp.
up.
So
Sleepaway Camp. I knew it. Awesome.
So
Right?
That was such a messed up movie.
One of the biggest surprise endings in horror at the time.
Yeah,
it
that
made
was
the movie
hilarious.
though. Once you
It
saw
did.
that,
It
it's like you couldn't believe it.
You're
Well,
like,
it added a whole psychological twist to it too.
It did.
Yeah. I thought it was
really
just
did.
goofy and fun up to that moment. And then it's like you had to think about the whole movie now, back to what you just watched. Making out with that boy under the canoe and this and that. You're like, it's totally different now.
That's it.
But yeah, Felicia.
Oh,
Rose,
we can't spoil it because I mean it's been out for so long. If you guys haven't seen it, then too bad.
Yeah.
Not
Make sure
yet,
you go
sir.
watch it. So make sure you
And
go
you
watch
got that one signed by the actress too, eh?
it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, she put a little heart there for you. That's awesome.
Well, I mean, after you've seen that movie, you never forget that ending ever.
No.
No. That scene right there. That's the
Just
That's
the,
the bell to
and the
ball.
screaming too. Just like she nailed that part.
yeah. And even now, if you see her at Comic Cons, everybody wants her to make that face. You know what I mean? So hello.
Well, and that's something also that's very specific to horror. You can get remembered for one thing forever, and like you'll always have a fan base.
Yeah. Totally agree. We was talking about like at Comic Cons, there's certain people like say Harrison Ford. You're Red Hulk, but you're also Indiana Jones, and you're also on Star Wars.
Han
You can make a living just doing
Solo,
Comic Cons.
He does everything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Comic Cons all you have to do the rest of your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you got to
Yeah,
cover it.
Katie said that she's an adorable person and that you can tell she loves being there.
Yeah, she seems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And I'm
like when
surprised that they haven't tried to remake any of those.
Well, there's 2 or 3 of them. They suck after that, but
Give 'em
they're not near as
time.
good.
They do.
Kind of like the
Well, you
Lost
can't-
Boys.
That first one you can't really replicate though.
No. There's no. It's top
Like,
you
notch.
can't surprise
Like
them
once that
again.
first happens, you can't replicate that.
No,
twist
you've
or
already
that
seen
effect.
the end. You know what's
Yeah.
coming. So I mean,
The other ones are generic. She's just a camp counselor.
Because
and
like
she's killing
that
people.
movie was fun and campy, and then when it got to the twist, it blew your mind. You're like, what?
Totally agree. So let's see what's next.
I don't even know what fucking number we're on. I'm having so much fun with this.
Yeah, I've got 4
you're
or 5
writing them
things
down.
right
Just
here. Let me
it's
grab
the
another-
Right?
just put Travato Clause at the top, and that's it. So it's as many as it is.
Yeah. So this right here, us 3 are going to know what this is, but most people ain't going to know what this is if you're younger than 30 or whatever. Well, I doubt anybody's watching younger than 30, but what about a video disc? The video disc.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the giant laser discs.
I love to get the
Yeah.
first issue, the first production run, and this is the first production run, just like everything else that I collect. But this came out in 1980. They came out 2 or 3 times, but you want to try to find the 1980 one.
You had to be rich back there to have one of them back in those days because
Yeah,
everything was
and-
VHS.
And these are brutal back in the day because they actually showed a lot of blood and stuff on the back where a lot of the VHS didn't. So
Yeah,
And people also have to remember, like with these old movies, like these old horror movies, a lot of big stars got their breaks in them, like Kevin Bacon and Friday the 13th, and you had Johnny Depp and Freddie.
what about Corey Feldman and Friday the 13th? You know, when he's a kid.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, I love the artwork. I love everything about this. It looks like a big album cover, you know?
It does. That's what you'd
No.
think right away. It's a record, but then you pull it out and it's that big silver disc. Giant.
Yeah, you got to
CD.
put in both of these clips at the same time. Let me see if I can get it open. I'll show you what it looks like.
Yeah, the giant silver disc.
Yeah.
Now you need to get one of them players so you can watch it, unless you got one.
I don't have one. I don't even know.
If those things exist anymore. Like they were very limited at the time. They didn't last. So I remember getting CDs back in the 80s too.
All right, I got it open. So you would slide it in.
Yeah, it comes out as this cartridge thing. Yeah. And it's like a giant record player thing.
Yeah. And then it would shut and lock. And you can't lose it. So
yeah.
But I could see how these things wouldn't work too good back in the day, sitting all on the shelf like at your VHS store.
Mm-hmm.
They'd take up way too much room, So
I think the idea was them to be like the size of a record, so you put them wherever your records were.
Yeah.
Now, Dope, are you familiar with pre-code horror movies too? Not books, but there was a little genre of pre-code horror movies back in the day as well.
Well, I've watched stuff like Boris Karloff and stuff like that back in the day. And the
Did you ever watch one with Fay Ray called Black Moon?
No.
I think you look that one up. You'd like it, and it has to do with voodoo and all sorts of stuff. It is good.
What's a year? Like the 50s or the 40s?
1936, I think.
Oh, the 30s. Holy shit.
34. I just looked it up. 1934.
Is there a soundtrack with it, or is it like a silent movie or what?
No, it's not a silent movie. I'll make it big. But if you're looking for like what's considered a pre-code horror movie, this is one of the ones that was considered it.
Huh.
Jack Holt, Black Moon.
It is good. It's but like you were saying, you like things that like could be real, and like I think you would enjoy that.
Yeah, and like some of my favorite channels, I like Tubi. You ever watch Tubi?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I love Tubi.
It's free, and you got Folsom, which is free and awesome put together. It's called Folsom, and it's a free network. And then what is that one? V something like free, but it's V something, and it's got all kinds of B and C list horror movies on all three of those. So I watch a lot of that. Tubi is my favorite though. So. Except you got to watch commercials, but it's worth it. It's free. Yeah.
Well, and not only that, man, they have all the full moon movies on there. Plus, if you're an 80s baby, like you were growing up on horror in the 80s, it's all there. 80s horror, 80s action, 80s TV. Tubi's got you covered with that stuff.
Yep. Totally agree.
Like the stuff that we grew up on then was just insane.
Gary and I were teenagers in the 80s, so yeah, that was our jam.
I just watched Slumber Party Massacre. I don't know if y'all remember that one.
Yeah, I remember that Slumber Party. Yeah.
Just weird, crazy shit.
Yeah. Good evening, sir.
I went through my Blockbuster. My Blockbuster. I went through every horror movie they had in that damn place.
Yeah, I used to love that stuff. And I'll tell you something weird that ain't everybody's jam. But I was a teenager. Now I don't care anything for it. But as a teenager, me and all my friends get together and watch these crazy ass. You remember the Traces of Death and the Faces of Death?
Oh, yep.
I don't even know if they were real, but you thought they were as a kid. And
I was never into the Faces of Death movies. I watched one. I was like, not for me. Halloween,
they'd come out every year at our theater. They showed it at 12 o'clock at night. And if you made it all the way through it, you got a little certificate saying you made it through the Traces of Death. And I don't know. If you look back at it now, it looks fake, but I don't know if they're real or not. But I'd say they're probably fake. So
Big Nasty loves those.
Oh, there you go.
And DV8 Slumber Party Massacre is a classic. The rare slasher directed by a woman. I also loved the original Night of the Demons.
Huh.
Like the remake, it's okay.
I like weird movies that make you think, and I used to sit around a lot and think about Maximum Overdrive. The machines coming alive. I don't know if you ever watched that
too.
Yeah, I mean that was just a weird movie with a weird bad guy, weird villain. I don't even know if you'd call it a villain, but
Goblin truck.
Yeah. I watched that again last year because I hadn't seen it in forever.
Yeah, the Goblin truck, man, that was cool.
Yeah, the old road grader out there in the outfield of the baseball game, and
when Emilio Estevez was still making movies and not behind the scenes.
Yeah.
He was the man back in the day. You know, he's married to Paula Abdul and all that. I mean, he was the man. So, all right, we ready for another one?
Yeah. Somehow we got sidetracked again.
I see a trend happening.
Everybody tune in to FOC and Chill after this show every Tuesday night.
Will they do FOC
you gotta
or will
remind
they
me,
chill?
Marcus, I have a song I think you can put to good use that I play daily for myself. It's a great song. I think you could use it in one of your shorts to great effect. Anyway, dope.
Here is I love Robert Englund. I don't think anybody could play Freddy Krueger but Robert Englund. Here is a autographed Robert Englund.
Ooh.
Sweet.
Yeah, he autographed it. Most time he just autographs Robert Englund, but he actually put Freddy Krueger on there, and he used a color to match the gown, which looks perfect.
That's awesome. See, I like when artists do that kind of stuff too.
And this is the first comic size comic book of Freddy. So this one's Innovation. Innovation's got a lot of cool stuff. Innovation's got Child's Play. They got this. They've got Psycho. They've got a lot of titles. So,
did you buy this one already graded, or did you?
I did. Okay. I wish Robert Englund would come to more Comic Cons, but I've never seen him at anything.
No, but
so I've never met him. Okay.
His is a great signature to have.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you'd have to get like a Veeb comic and get him to sign it, with Willie.
Yeah, that'd be awesome too. But this one here is 1991. So,
and another incredible painted cover.
Yeah. Beautiful book. I love this one, so I picked it up. So
get her, Freddie. Get her.
And take a mental note of that glove. That glove's not right at all. I was
looking at the glove. It doesn't look correct. It's too gauntletty. It's very much like
It looks like the Tin Man from the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, it's not he's got a leather glove.
Well, it's really silvered. If you look, it's it's just like you said, it's like Tin Man or like Doom's hand or something,
Yeah.
And then this other one up here that we were looking at earlier, the glove's wrong too. I look at the glove every time I study the gloves. This one here, the fingers look how narrow the blades are.
Yeah, they're too. Yeah,
and that's a gold glove.
Oh, that's kind of like Wolverine claws.
Yeah.
That's the Rocketeer version, and the blades aren't right.
Yeah, and when I don't know. I'll tell you about the glove here in a little bit because we'll talk about the glove. But every time I see a picture of Freddy, the first thing I do is look at the glove because I'm a sucker for the glove. I've looked at so many gloves and so many things that's wrong with them. So.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Because when you know these characters, you know their distinguishing characteristics, and when it's off, you notice it.
Yeah.
It'd be like giving Jason, Michael Myers a butter knife instead of that big old steak knife.
Yeah. Well, I collect Ghost Rider stuff too, and I have the first 100 Ghost Riders.
All those motorcycles.
The motorcycle's different on every freaking cover.
Oh my god!
It's got two pipes. It's got one pipe. The pipe's on the wrong side. It's got a sissy bar. It's raked.
Like
it ain't raked. It's got two headlights.
Like a street bike. Like
the headlights are square. It's got a bug shield.
Manifested from hell. It can be anything it wants, anytime.
I believe back in the day, because there wasn't really any, you didn't have the internet. So I think these artists just used whatever they had laying around with a bike on it for, and so they were looking at, whatever, and they just drew whatever bike they had handy. So
it worried more about story continuity than visual continuity.
Yeah. Constant. Yeah.
It's bad though when you see him like on a Chips bike with the big bug shield. And
I know that thing. It's like, he's going to pull you over and give you a citation.
Riding side by side with Poncho.
That's it.
Chips. Yeah. All right,
well, that was the same too back in the day with Spider-Man, right? Some comics had this big fat his spider on the back, some didn't.
That's true.
If you look at like ASM 15 with a Craven on the cover, he's fat and chunky. You know what I mean? Then other people draw him real skinny. Sometimes he had the spider webs under his arms.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
And so, Spider-Man was very different, and depending on, who drew him. And, I don't guess who drew him because it's always the same people mainly drew him, but it's just, he looked different on covers. Half the time Ramita drew him looking one way, half the time he didn't. So, just whatever you like, I guess. So, but all right. You ready for another one?
We are.
What about the VHSs? Did y'all collect these?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any. I think I only have a couple old ones, but not many. A lot of them my parents got rid of when I was young.
The original release for the Friday the 13th is 1980. You got to find the ones that say 1980 at the bottom because there's been reissues 2 or 3 times.
Right.
And then you got to make sure you got the matching cassette that says 1980, and that's the first production piece. So, and you think about how cool it is. When this came out in 1980, they had no idea that I'd be talking about it 45 years later, and it'd be a $1 million
collector.
franchise.
Right.
And there'd be T-shirts, and there'd be movies, and there would be toys. You know, because this is the first. You know, it's
And
number
reboots.
one. So yeah, you had no idea how big that would be.
So the first one's your favorite, right?
Yeah. I hate it.
So which one's your guilty pleasure one after the first one?
I like all the ones of Corey Feldman, which would be like 2 and 3, or 4 and 5, or maybe it's 3 and 4. I think it's 3 and 4 because the second one, you know, he came back with a sack on his head,
right?
Yeah.
So it would be 3 and 4, the Corey Feldman run. So that was my favorites. I remember actually watching them when they came out.
And your favorite Jason kill?
I think I like the cheesy Jason Takes Manhattan when he was in the boxing ring and he knocked that dude's head off. Or if you watch the new Jason movie that came out like on Netflix and stuff, and maybe it was Amazon, where he had the girl in the sleeping bag and he swung her like a baseball bat into the tree. Yeah, I like that one too. But the Nightmare on Elm Street is 1985 if you ever want to find the original VHS for it. So you just want to find one that says 85 at the bottom.
Yep. And look at the glove on that. Look at the blades.
Yeah, totally different.
Got the steak knives.
Yeah.
And I just love the poster art from that era.
Yep.
It's just so good.
Yeah. Totally love it. Johnny Depp and all that.
And of course, Barbara Langenkamp still popular just because of that film.
Yeah. It's crazy if you're an iconic film like that, what you can do.
And SideQuest says Jason 10 was bad, but a lot of people love Jason in Space. A lot of people love that one.
Immortal Biggie wanted to know if you got the Atari Jason game.
I've got the Nintendo Jason game, but I don't have the Atari game. I didn't know there was an Atari game. I knew there is there's a Michael Myers Atari game, and I knew there was a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which we talked about.
New rabbit hole for dope.
Yeah. The Atari games are hard to find, you know. So
when you get that one, now you can just send that bill to Biggie.
Yeah. Here's the eBay bill and the service and the delivery charge.
Yeah. All right, we got 2 more things to show, and they both got stories behind them. So
all right, let's do it.
We double stories.
Yeah.
I like that.
All right. So I was at an antique store hunting for comic books, and I'm walking around and I see all these picture frames, and I start going through all these picture frames, and I'm digging, and I come across this picture, and I've had it on when I do a room tour. I've showed this picture a couple of times. And I don't know if this is a crime scene. I don't know if this is horror. I don't know if it's something, if it's real or not. But this picture right here I found, and I had to buy it. I didn't want the frame. I just bought the thing for the picture. But check out this crazy picture I found at the junk store. So I don't know if them are real dead bodies. I don't know if it's an album cover. I don't know if it's something from a horror movie. If anybody knows what this is, nobody's ever known what this is. So.
It seems too perfect a shot to be a real scene.
Yeah, I mean, you got 2 people laying on the ground.
And where's all the blood?
And the way the trees are absolutely, everything is like feels so staged. But
She's
it's
got
a
a knife
job.
in her back. Where's the blood? She should have blood everywhere.
I don't think there's a knife in her back. That's
Isn't that what's sticking out
That
of her
dude
back?
reminds me of the Phantasm dude with
Or is
the
that a
black
stick?
suit.
I think it's a stick. But
Okay.
and what's the umbrella? I don't get none of it. And he ain't smiling. I don't know if he's an FBI agent, a cop. What's going on? The killer?
It looks like an album cover.
Yeah, that's what I said. But nobody ever knows what this is. Nope.
Which
I've never
album?
heard one person that knows what this is. So if anybody's out there and knows what this is, but my wife thinks it's creepy and she don't like it in the house.
So you know what you gotta do is when she's sleeping, you gotta tape it on the ceiling above her when she wakes up to it.
That's a divorce thing going on right there. That'd be counseling at the very least.
Yeah, and on back it just says "My Love," so I don't know what this is.
Actually, Biggie's got a good thing. Did you ever photo Google it?
I never heard of photo Google.
All right, so you can
Get the AI.
yeah, you can Google has a search feature you can use with photos.
And they can find it.
And they a lot of times can find stuff up. And SideQuest says it looks like art school stuff.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what it is, but I love it. So it's very artsy, very crazy, very weird. So I had to buy that picture.
Ooh, you should Google photo search it now.
I will. I will try to
That's
find
two
out what it
things.
is.
So he's on eBay. He's going to be a busy man after this show. Jesus.
All right. So what you were talking about earlier, the last thing.
Oh, come on. Yes.
I am a member.
Let's see it.
I am a member of. There is a Freddy Krueger glove replica group out there that builds Freddy Krueger replica gloves. And there's 4 or 5 good builders in the world. And there's one, his name is Anders Ericsson, and he builds gloves for, Robert England, all kinds of people. And there is 7 different gloves he builds, 1 through 7 movies, but 1 and 2 is the same glove, but it's just falling apart, and it's got wire around it in part 2, and some of the blades are broke and stuff like that. So there's all them gloves, and then they build, like, you remember the syringe glove?
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
And then there was a bone glove. And then there's one where the guy was at the dentist and they had all the different tools, the dentist tools.
Yeah, the drills and the picks and everything.
But this one here is the classic #1 glove.
Yeah, that's the OG right there.
Yeah, and I wanted one built, and you can spend thousands and thousands of dollars on these things. This one here, if you want a real glove, you've got to have a brass backplate.
Yes.
This right here is copper M tubing.
Pieces. Yep.
You got to use M tubing. And then this is a Wells Lamont Trucker Glove Special $32.79 if you're looking for the real glove.
The actual ID number.
Yep. Yeah, and they're about $200 a set on eBay because they don't even make them no more.
And you only need the right.
Yeah, you got to throw the other one away.
Throw the left one away.
These blades here, if you want the original blades, these are Case XXP 120 tomato knives. And if you buy any other vintage tomato knife, they'll be the wrong size. These go for about $150 a piece if you find them on eBay. So you need 4 of those.
Then you have to braise them.
Mine are not. These are not Case 120s, but we made them where we could take these out if I could find 4 cases. These right here are made on a water jet machine where they actually trace the tomato knife to the correct size. Wow. And then they take them and they use sulfuric acid and they make all the parts look relic.
Yeah.
So you got to rust them out and make them look.
Oxidize them.
And it's got a hole right here, which is supposed to be here. But these are real blades, real everything. And the Wells Lamont, it's got this little bead on it. But you can make all these different gloves. So
now, have you accidentally cut yourself with it yet?
It's sharp and they hurt.
That's the idea.
It's really cool. I got this for Father's Day a couple years ago, and I'll probably upgrade the blades before long. And something else, let me show you this. This is how nerdy we get in this club. So this is a picture. Let's see here.
It's a good Halloween outfit.
This is the classic picture that y'all have all seen before. And if you look at that first blade, at the very bottom of it, you can see a big chunk where it's been broken, welded back together.
Oh yeah.
Robert England did that, scraping them on the bricks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he would do it on the pipes and the bricks. Yeah.
We had to go out and break this one and weld it back together
to make it look accurate.
Get it accurate, huh?
Yeah. So you go through all this stuff and you watch all this stuff and you try to find parts of the movies where you can pause it and see stuff like that. But you can see where it's actually broke. And people are so nerdy that they can look at these, and if the brass plate is like this, they know it's part 1. If it's more tarnished, they know it's part 2.
Wow.
And so be it. So, but these gloves, there's a whole committee or a whole crew of people that just makes these gloves and loves these gloves. So this is the one I've been working on for a few years now. So
right, so that's like $1,000 glove.
Yeah, you can spend a lot of money on these things for something so stupid.
And the blades got different for the different movies, right? So you get a different glove with the different blades in it.
Yeah, and
that's dedication to the collection.
And you have to watch out because, like on my phone, you can do vintage tomato knives and get something for like $20 like this on eBay. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh yeah, there you go.
But see how chrome they are? They don't look right. And then also they're too small. They're not the actual length they're supposed to be. This is like little Wolverine claws or something. So you have to really find the P210 tomato knife by Case if you want to do that. So
Damn. Now where were all these specs posted for people to find out?
The glove
you
don't.
just heard it. You just heard all of it. I've had to do years of research.
Oh.
So, but you
I
can
didn't know
Google
if there was like an official magazine which had broke it down at one point.
You can Google it. There's people online too. If you get on YouTube and you just do Freddy Krueger gloves, you'll see people that's really they'll take one of these gloves and they'll start out with the Wells Lamont glove and they'll just start building them, and then every time they get a better piece, they'll take it back apart and put the new piece on there. So
now I bet
just rivets.
people doing the replicas put more thought into those than the people who made the glove for the movie, who probably just threw something together that was around and like we need a prop. Let's do it.
And it's weird how once you start building them, you notice little details, and then you look at them covers where artists have done them. You're like, that ain't right. That ain't right. That ain't right. So it's really a nerdy thing to get into, but I love to try to find parts for those gloves too. So
the replica prop forum would be a good place to start for making any replica. Oh, I didn't even know there was a prop forum, but it makes sense. Why wouldn't there be?
Yeah. So,
and there's Adam from Mythbusters, and he likes to build replicas of all kinds of stuff too. I think he even did one where he was talking about the Freddy glove in one of his videos.
Show you this before we get off here. You see my 7-foot tall Frankenstein back there?
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, he let's see if I can get him to work. He
makes noises and yells at you.
Yeah.
Caroline.
Oh, there he goes.
But he's 7 foot tall. Does all kinds of if I can get him to work.
He's got all sorts of motion sensors, huh?
Oh, look at the detail in the face.
Man.
Get him, Frankie. Get him. Come on, Frankie. Get him.
Joe. Some good stuff, buddy.
So, yeah.
That's pretty wild.
You got to love it. You got to live it and breathe it. And
you need a creature from the Black Lagoon like that.
Yeah, I'd love to have one. There is a pinball topper I'm looking at now from the creature from the Black Lagoon. It goes on top of your pinball machines. It's the arms and just the waist high, but you can put them above your door frame or anything. They look great. So,
nice.
Yeah. So,
unbelievable.
Fantastic collection, Dope.
Absolutely
amazing, sir.
God, I love this collection.
Thank you guys. Yeah, I've showed y'all the pre-code horror books before, but I thought I'd just show something different.
I don't think I'd even leave that room if I had that room. I would just be in that room every day.
Just have your meals delivered in there, and
right.
Yeah, that's basically. I stay out here. I remember a lot of dads always had like the garage. They went to the garage, and I'm not that cool to have a garage, and I don't know how to make nothing, so I just come down here and read books. So
there you go.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah. So
that and make music.
Yeah. I've played guitar my whole life, so start playing guitar when I was about 3 or 4. You live in Nashville, everybody plays guitar.
Yeah, it's kind of a passage of
living
down there.
Yeah, let me see here.
All right, so since you're a music guy too.
Oh, there he is, little Dope.
Guitar's twice as big as you.
A little acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
Now, what's your favorite horror theme?
I gotta go with the classic Halloween.
Yeah, that's the best, man.
Yeah, there's so many people that when you hear it, when I hear it, I always think about being a kid and going to haunted houses. My kids don't have all the haunted houses we had as kids. It seemed like there's haunted houses on every corner back in the day. You don't see a lot of haunted houses anymore.
What's your favorite one, Gary?
It's the John Carpenter's The Thing score. Oh, it's just so great. They even use it on Shudder now. I'm like Shudder has their little thing. I'm like, come on, guys, you're just copying John Carpenter's theme. But Carpenter he is still just the master of taking simple sounds and making them creepy. Like,
what about Jaws?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
a classic too. It's iconic when you hear that.
Well, I mean, it's Williams, one of the masters.
It's simple, but it's
But
effective.
that's the thing, right? The most simple stuff is often the most effective.
Yeah.
It doesn't distract. It just gets you to the point.
Last week we were talking about the Star Trek one with the fight scene with Spock and Kirk when they were going at it with their little staffs there. Everybody knows that shit.
Oh goodness, but great show, Dope. Thank you so much, sir. That was I've been looking forward to this. This was an absolute pleasure.
Too.
I think this right now is my favorite appearance you've had on my channel.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad
somebody. I liked all your shows, but seeing the different things that you don't see, like the video games and stuff, and the VHSs and the laser discs, just amazing.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I go hunting every Friday. I'm off from work, and I'll usually go to all these junk stores and try to find that kind of cool stuff. So, masks, posters, anything. So
I like when you do that one where you just grab change out of your cup holder and you go in and see what you can find. That's a cool thing, you know, like you never know what you're going to find for that $2-3, right?
Yeah. All week long, I go and eat through drive-thrus at my work, and I just throw the change in my cup holder. And at the end of the week, I see what I can buy with the change in my cup holder. So, you know, you can get some cool books for under $3.99 if you really look. You know,
and some of the stuff you find is pretty wild.
Yeah. I'm lucky to have a bunch of good shops around here. So,
yeah, you got some good honey holes.
Yeah, I got.
Just like there's all those obscure movies, there's so many like obscure horror comics that were made by independent. Sometimes it's just the only book that like maybe 3 people put out, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, I love like we talked about the innovation stuff, all the old Pacific comics. I love like Twisted Tales. I grew up on
Twisted Tales is good.
The ghost stories in Dell. I love, the Boris Karloff Golden Key books. I love all that stuff.
The Bernie Rayson books. Those ones are cool too.
Yeah, I like the Bruce Jones a lot too. Bruce Jones is one of my favorites.
Yeah, Bruce Jones is awesome. He's in a lot of the Twisted Tale stuff. So him and Richard Corbin. Richard Corbin does all the artwork for a lot of that stuff.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So I love all that stuff. It goes back to liking Tales from the Dark Side and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, you just grew up in horror in our age group. Is you grew up with horror as a staple.
Yeah, because Tales from the Dark Side came on like Saturday nights, and Twilight Zone was on Channel 30 all the time. It's just normal TV shows. Right.
Yeah, it was always in rotation.
Yeah, loved it.
Yep, Corbin. Yep, creepy, eerie. All right, so guys, we're gonna do like we always do. We'll go around, see what everyone's got coming up. We always start with my co-host. So, Steve, what's coming up for you, sir?
Not a whole hell of a lot. I'm doing my Voices Choices still during the week just to show you all the stuff I pick up and what's good and what's bad. And at the end of this month, we got an espresso mail call with Joe on Anachronic Comics. So that'll be cool. The usual gang of idiots there showing us all the cool stuff that we picked up. Because I've been to the thrift store. My wife is like a mad genius. I don't know. Every time I go to the thrift store, she finds the coolest shit. I look in the same aisle as her and I don't see nothing. 10 minutes later, she goes, "Oh, did you see all this stuff?" And I went, "Where the frick did you find this?" Right in the spot I was looking. It's incredible. So I can't wait for that one because I got a stack of stuff that she found and I got it cheap. So that'll be coming up.
Nice. So coming up for me next week, we have John Burgess back on next Tuesday doing just autographs. Doesn't have to be. Last time he did autograph cards. Next week, it's just autographs of all sorts. It doesn't matter what it's on. He's bringing autographs. That's cool. And then the 27th, I have an In the Hot Seat coming up with a new indie comic coming out. I believe I just talked to them. It's Gangster Comics, and it's a horror book. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Gangster Comics, and it is called, I'm trying to see what it's called here. Oh, Valentine's Day Massacre. It's a graphic novel they got coming out.
So who's coming on for In the Hot Seat?
That's a great movie, by the way.
Yeah.
My Bloody Valentine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yep. Yeah.
That's one of my favorite movies all the time. It's like 1984.
Another one with the suit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and just a shout out since we've had so many one of the creepiest and best character mask ever since we talked about mask was Decker from Nightbreed. Simple and effective. That
yeah.
I always thought that was the creepiest mask in horror.
Yeah, you're right. It's up there.
But yes, and Dope, what's coming up for you, sir?
Same old. I'll be doing unboxings and I'll be showing and telling, doing my show and tell stuff, and I'll do the cup challenge and I'll go hunting and I'll do the stuff I do every week. And I usually put out 5 or 6 videos a week. It's crazy how many videos I put out. I've been doing videos now for 3 years. I think we got close to 1,000 videos already. So
it's amazing.
Always active doing something.
1,000 videos.
In 3 years, man.
He's just starting out, man.
1,000 days.
I'm even less than that.
I think I started in 2000. I got 4,000 videos now, but I think that's kind of a cheat though, because a lot of them are shorts.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I have over 4K videos. I'm like, when did I do that? When I started, I'm like, I'll be lucky if I make 20 videos.
Yeah, I thought 100 was going to be a lot,
Yeah.
But in 3 years, you figure 365 days a year. I mean, 1,000 in 3 years is almost one a day. So
yeah. But you also did the shorts pretty heavy for a while.
Yeah, I still do it. Whatever. If I do something and I don't feel like it's long enough, like I just did a review of Captain America, and I didn't want to talk about it a lot. So now they've got a 3-minute short. So
yeah, they did. I watched your review. Wow.
Yeah. Red Hulk, and be ready because in 4 months from now, in Hellverine 6, we've got the first Hell Hulk coming. So
the first what Hulk?
Hell Hulk.
Hell Hulk.
He looks like Hulk, but he's got big ram horns.
Damn.
Yeah, Hell Hulk's coming. So y'all get ready for that. I'm excited. I'm counting down the days like Christmas time.
So order it ahead in preview so you have your key copies.
With all the 6 billion variants.
3 covers. So
yeah, just 3?
3 for now. That's all they've shown. But when you get off here, Google Hellverine 6 and you'll see the Hell Hulk cover.
That'll probably sell out. Hellverine's been going pretty good. Hell Hunters has been like flying off the shelves at the comic shop.
Hell Hunter's good. I enjoy
Hell Hunters is awesome. Hellverine's good. Deadly Tales of Gunslinger, I love.
And they're cheap. $2.99.
Yeah, all that stuff, man. It's amazing.
And I just got in this week Silver Lake, Andrea Muti art.
I've seen Silver Lake. That looked good too.
Yeah. Oh, it looks fantastic. I can't wait to read it. I was just thumbing through it real quick before I came on for you guys. Oh, it's a graphic novel. It's just one contained story. And I hope the rights to Bunny Mask end up back with him so we can get more Bunny Mask. Because that story needs to be finished. Good. But great show. First of all, I want to thank Steve for coming on tonight. Thank you, Steve. Always great having you as my wingman, sir. And of course,
Steve.
There's no show without an awesome guest. And tonight, always entertaining, Mr. Dope Comics. Thank you so much, sir. Always a pleasure to have you.
Anytime.
And to spend a couple hours with you, or an hour or so. And of course, the shows don't work without our audience. So thank you so much to the audience. Now, guys, we do the 10-1-1 every week. We do In the Hot Seat. If you out there would like to be a guest on the 10-1-1, all you have to do is message me on IG. I love having new people on and new faces, and I will schedule a show with you. So just message me on Instagram, Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy, and we will set up a show. I'm currently going to start scheduling March. So we only have a couple people so far in March because it's been a busy winter. I haven't had as much time to reach out as I normally do. So just is what it is in the winter. But great show, guys. Great guests, great chat. Thank you all so much. And you guys know how we like to end this thing. We are going to say keep it casual and have a good night. Thank you for watching.